Hello, and thank you for joining me for Intro to Yoga. It's a great place to start your yoga practice. So if you're a beginner or just haven't been practicing yoga for a while, this is a really nice place to sort of refresh things and really simplify the practice so that it feels available in your body. A couple things that might make your practice feel better to you today is having a couple props handy. So something like a yoga block, which is just a nice simple shape like this. If you have anything that resembles this kind of shape at home, even something like a book or something similar might really help you. And also having a blanket can literally be a blanket. This is a yoga blanket, but it doesn't have to be something specific for yoga. It could just be something you use on your couch, like a throw blanket. And so grabbing those things for yourself now if you'd like. If you know you don't need them, then you can just stay right where you are. Let's find ourselves in a comfortable seat, just simple cross-legged position. And just close your eyes. Let's take a few moments to just settle in here on our mat, feeling nice and comfortable. If your hips feel like they're tight, this might be a really challenging shape to be in. So if you'll welcome to sit on something to lift your seat up higher, like your yoga blanket or a block. If you have a pillow at home, that might also be comfortable. We're just going to be here for a few moments. And just bringing the mind to be present here with the body, giving yourself an opportunity to feel grounded and settled here. Letting go of anything that might be distracting you from being present, and see if you can just think a little bit more about your breath. Taking deep breaths in and deep breaths out. And if you're able to, try to breathe through your nose during this practice today. Letting your eyes float open. Gently bring your left hand over to the right knee. And walk your right hand to be behind your body. Just finding a nice gentle twist. You might be able to turn your head to look all the way beyond the right shoulder towards the back of the room. Finding a really tall spine, perhaps you can walk that back hand in even closer to your body to feel an even bigger twist here in the shoulders. Take a big breath in. Exhale, twist your body a little bit more. Inhale, bring both hands to both knees. Exhale, twist the other way. Left hand behind you, right hand to the left knee. Big twist here in the shoulders. Again, maybe you're able to look all the way beyond the left shoulder towards the back of the room. Keep your low belly muscles nice and firm to help keep your spine nice and tall. Let the twist come mostly through the shoulders if you can. So take a big breath in. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, bring both hands back to center. And exhale here. Good. Let's transition to what we call tabletop. Hands and knees. And so come to all fours. Allow your shoulders to be over your wrists and allow your hips to be over your knees. Really spread your fingers out nice and wide. Press through the fingertips and the knuckle parts of the hands really purposely. If you have any problems with your wrists, anytime we're supposed to be up on the hands, you can either come to this fist position and press your fist into the floor, or from more weight-bearing positions, you might even drop down to the forearms, like when we do things like plank pose, which we'll get to shortly. And so in the meantime, be on the hands in some capacity here. Spine is really long, gaze is forward, just gently towards the front end of your mat. We'll move through a couple of movements called cat and cow, intended to really just wake up the spine. As you inhale, bring your belly towards the floor, tilt your head to look up, roll the shoulders back. We call this shape cow pose. As you exhale, round the back, let your head drop down, squeeze your belly in tighter for cat pose. Inhale, come to cow. Some teachers would call this happy cat. If you have a cat, maybe you're familiar with when you pet your cat, they look super happy. They sort of drop your spine this way. And exhale, maybe you'd call this angry cat, right? Rounding the back, really angry looking animal. Good, 2 more times like that. Inhale, cow or happy cat. And exhale, cat, or maybe more specifically, angry cat. Good, 1 more time. Inhale, for today we'll just simply call it cow. And exhale, simply we'll call it cat. Inhale, back to a neutral spine. And exhale, we'll find child's pose. So you can bring your feet closer together, take your knees a little further apart, And bring your hips as low to the heels as you can as you melt your head towards the floor. Dropping your chest low, stretching the arms far forward. Depending on where tightness in your body is, the shape might look a little different for you, so just be in the shape to the best of your ability. We don't have to look the same during this practice. Take one more breath through the nose, inhale, and exhale. Good, slowly find your way into tabletop. Bring your knees a little closer together. And then we'll find plank pose. So walk one foot back and then the other until both of the legs are straight. Remember, if you have any problems with your wrists, here's where you might come to the forearms to alleviate any discomfort. Otherwise, try to stay right here. Gaze forward, make sure your hips aren't sagging low, right? We really want to keep some engagement in the legs and the belly. Take one more big breath in. As you exhale, lift your hips high. We'll find our first downward facing dog. It might feel appropriate to walk the feet in a little bit closer. Just an inch or two might be nice. And see if you can pedal through the feet, melting one heel towards the mat. And then do that on the other side so you can stretch out the calves a little bit here. You might even stretch out the hamstrings a bit. If your legs feel really stiff, having a little bend in your knees like this might feel really nice. But otherwise, you might just straighten them all the way. Both is correct. Let's take one more breath here. Really spread your fingers out on the mat. Exhale through the nose. Look up towards your hands and take little steps. Walk your feet all the way up towards your hands until you find yourself in a forward fold position. Bring your feet as close together as you can. Let your head hang heavy. For now, we're just going to have a little bend in the knees. If you need a big bend in the knees, feel free to take a big bend. Hands can either be touching your legs or touching the floor, depending on your abilities today. Take one more breath here. Good, as you inhale, straighten your legs and straighten your spine. Come to what we call a halfway lift. Hands can either be on the mat or on your legs. Gazing forward, we're just finding lots of length in the back, squeezing the belly, take a big breath in. And exhale, fold. Remember, you can bend your knees here if you need to. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift, gaze forward. And exhale, fold forward, relax the head. One more time. Inhale, halfway lifting a little bit more to the toes. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, stand all the way up. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. So you can even look up towards your hands. And exhale, bring your arms by your sides. And we'll move through a couple movements just to sort of wake up the legs, wake up the back, and just to sort of find a breath with movement connection so we can really concentrate our attention here in the present moment. So have your arms by your sides. Remember, if you can, feet are mostly together. A little bit apart is no problem. Let's begin. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, bend your knees a little bit. Let's fold forward. No pain in the lower back, so bend your knees more if you need to. Inhale, straighten the legs, lift halfway. Remember, your hands can be on your legs here if you need to. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, stand all the way up. Reach your arms high. And exhale, arms come by your sides. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale, reach the arms high. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach your arms high. Exhale, arms by the sides. One more time. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach your arms high. And exhale, arms by the sides. Good, so we're going to build on that a little bit. We'll add some other movements that might challenge the body a little bit more. Listen for some of the cues I'm going to give for modifications. If you need to take it easy here, there's going to be an opportunity to do that. And remember, this practice might challenge you greatly, but it should never be painful, no risk of injury, so really use your best judgment here about what's safest for your body today. Here we go. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Remember, your knees can be bent here. Inhale, lift halfway, really stretch your back out long. Exhale, plank pose. Put your hands on the mat. Step back, one foot, then the other, and hold here. Be on the forearms if you prefer. We'll stay right here for 3, 2, 1. Put your knees on the floor. Find cat-cow. Inhale, cow pose first. Stretch through the spine. Exhale, cat pose. Round the back. Keep your belly strong. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips high. Remember, you can readjust your stance if needed. Try to find stillness. We'll just hang for a few breaths, building some strength in our practice. If you can't hold here, no big deal. Just drop your knees to the floor and take a break instead. Just one more breath. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale, walk your feet. Come all the way up to the top of the mat. Find yourself in a halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach your arms high. And exhale, arms come by the sides. Good. If you feel like you need to move a little slower than the cues I'm giving you, no problem. Just take your time. We're going to do all of that again. Here we go. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Head comes down. Inhale, halfway lift, gaze forward. Exhale, plank pose. Step back, one foot and then the other. Maybe drop to the forearms. We're going to hold here for 3. Strong belly, strong legs for 2. And 1. Knees to the mat, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose. Belly down, head up. Exhale, cat pose. Round the back. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Hips lift high. Stay here or put your knees on the floor for rest. We'll hold here for 3. Breathe in deeply for 2. And 1. Inhale, walk the feet up to the top of the mat. Come to a halfway lift. Stretch the back long. Exhale, fold. Drop the head down. Inhale, rise up. Reach the arms high. And exhale, arms come by your sides. Good. Let's add in a couple of new movements. Bring the feet as close together as they can. Touching is preferable. Bend your knees and just drop your hands as low to the floor as you can. If you can get your fingertips to the mat, great. Grounding equally through the feet, ground the toes and the heels, and then send your arms high for what we call chair pose. Utkatasana. Bring your butt down really low. Imagine there was an actual chair behind you. And if you can, look directly forward or maybe all the way up to the hands. For an additional stretch in the shoulders, you might bring the arms closer together. Let's take one more breath. And then straighten your legs and bring your arms by your sides. Good. Step your left foot back. Pretty decently long stance, both legs straight for just a moment. Finding a shape called Warrior 1. Back leg stays all the way straight. Bend as deeply as you can into the front leg. And reach your arms up high towards the ceiling. If you have any knee problems, both legs could stay mostly straight here. That's all right. But if you're feeling good here, maybe bend your front leg a little more for a bit more of a challenge. Arm position is the same as the previous pose, so maybe arms come closer together for more of a shoulder stretch. One more breath. Good, and then release your arms. Step your left foot to meet your right foot, coming back to the top of the mat. Good, we'll try that on the other side. Right foot steps back. You can just keep the leg straight for a moment. Let that back leg be all the way straight. Once you feel set up in the right position, bend deeply through that front leg. Arms reaching high once you feel ready. Good, finding a steady breath here. Hopefully you're feeling a big stretch through the front side of your back leg, building some strength through that front thigh muscle and that front leg. Let's take 2 more breaths. Maybe you can sink a little lower here into that front leg. One more breath. Good, and then release the arms and set both feet together at the top of the mat. Good. Let's inhale, reach the arms up high, and exhale, fold forward, head lowers down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, plank pose. Step one foot back, and then the other. Holding here for 3. Holding here for 2. And 1. Put your knees on the floor. Inhale, cow pose. Belly down, head up. Exhale, cat pose, round the back, squeeze in, tuck the toes, downward facing dog.
Remember, if you're able to, otherwise breathe through the mouth, no problem. See if you can send a little more weight into the heels of your feet so your legs feel strong. One more breath here. Walk one foot forward and then the other. Find a halfway lift as you inhale at the top of your mat. Exhale, fold forward. Rise all the way up, inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, arms come by the sides. Good. We're going to do all of that one more time. So again, bring the feet all the way together if you can. We'll move a little faster. Remember, move at your own pace if that feels necessary. Bend your knees. We'll reach the arms up towards the ceiling, finding our chair pose, the butt sticking out so we can really get nice and low. Belly muscles stay strong. Good. Squeeze those legs together. The whole body should feel like it's working here. Take one more big breath. And then legs straight, arms come by the sides. Warrior one, right foot stays where it is. Left foot steps back. Back leg all the way straight. Front leg bending as much as you can. A decently long stance. Arms reaching high. Let's hold here for 3. Just practicing the breathing. Holding here for 2, maybe grounding that back foot a little more, one more breath. Good, release the arms. Step left foot to meet the right foot. That might have been a few steps, that's okay too. Let's try that on the other side. Right foot steps back, so the left foot is forward. Arms reaching high for a warrior one. Really engage in the whole body. Let's hold for 3. Holding here for 2. One more breath. And release arms by the sides. Right foot meets the left foot, top of the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up high. Exhale, fold your way down. Head is relaxed. Inhale, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose, step back. Don't be afraid to drop to the forearms. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Knees to the floor. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Just a few moments. We'll breathe deeply in. Deeply out. Let your belly muscles feel so strong. Arms, legs, and core all supporting you here in this really powerful shape. One more big breath. Good. Inhale, walk forward. Halfway lift. Head is up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach your arms high. And exhale, arms come by the sides. Good. Let's take the feet out. About as wide as the mat. If you're not on a mat, no big deal. Just take them a little wider than your hips. Toes turned out to the sides. Let your heels be grounded. Bring your hands to the floor and bend your knees as much as you can. And just see how this feels in your hips. We're coming into a really low squat. So some of you might prefer to stay here. Some of you might have your butt even higher than mine. And if it feels available, remember we want the heels to stay on the mat if possible. You can bring your hips down really low. You can either leave your hands on the floor for support, or you might bring your hands together in front of your chest. Both are correct. Find a place that you can really build strength here in your feet. Find a stretch through the inner thighs and the outer hips, really feeling strong and steady here. Spine is super duper tall, really active with the breathing. If you need to come out of this posture or any other posture early, please always feel welcome to do that. Let's breathe here just one more time. And then we'll bring the hands to the floor, lift the butt to the sky, and bring the feet a little bit closer together. Good. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to rise all the way up, reach high. And exhale, arms come by the sides. Good. We'll do a couple more standing postures just to build some strength in our legs and really work on our balance here today. Keeping the right foot forward, we'll set the left foot back and we'll find that same warrior one shape that we were practicing not long ago. So remember that back leg stays straight, front leg bends as much as it can. Arms will reach high. These warrior postures are really great because they're designed to feel effortless to breathe in. So see if you can find a steady, easy breath through the nose, grounding both feet really purposely. We'll take one more inhale here. Exhale into warrior two. Your arms will open really long. The chest will be opening to the side now. See if you can gaze over your front middle finger. That should be your right arm. The right leg should be forward here. Bending a little bit more into that front leg if you can. Take one more breath here. Ideally, that front leg will stay bent, so do that if you can. Front palm flips towards the ceiling. Radiant warrior, right arm's reaching high. Left arm reaches all the way down the left leg. Let's straighten that right leg and reach back a little bit more. Take one more breath. Good, keep that right arm lifting back. Bend into that right leg again. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bring right elbow to right thigh. Take left arm and stretch it all the way over your ear, all the way towards the front of the room. If it feels okay for your neck, you might look towards that lifted hand. Hopefully feeling a stretch here through the whole left side of the torso. Let's just stay here for one more big breath. Good, inhale, come all the way up, warrior two. Exhale, legs are straight, hands come to the waist. Let's turn the right foot in so the feet are parallel to each other. Take a big breath in. Exhale and fold forward. Let your hands come to the floor. Here's where you might use your blocks, right? If you're struggling to touch the mat, you can put blocks underneath of your hands. Otherwise, you might take your feet a little wider so that it feels easier to touch the floor. If you still can't quite get there, no big deal. Maybe your hands come to your legs instead. Let's see if your hands can touch something. Head's dropping down towards the mat. Weight is leaning forward here into the toes. Let's stay here for two more breaths. One more breath here. Now let your hands find your waist and slowly rise. Inhale, strong legs, come all the way up. Pivot your right foot to point forward and step your left foot to meet it, coming to the top of the mat. Great. Let's try that on the other side. Left foot stays where it is. This time the right foot will step back. Finding our warrior one stance, the arms reach high towards the ceiling. So really challenge yourself in an appropriate way, right? If you feel like you have the energy, maybe bend it a little bit more into that front leg. Back leg as straight as it can be. Use your best judgment about what this shape should look like in your body today. You can always find a deeper place the next time you practice this video. Let's take one more breath in our warrior one. And then we'll find warrior two. Arms extend open. Now the chest should feel open. We're getting a really big bend into that front leg. Your front thigh might be screaming at you a little bit here, so if you need to straighten the leg and then rebend, no problem, go ahead and do that. As you inhale, let the left palm flip up. Lift the arm high for a radiant warrior. Right arm stretches down the right leg. Big stretch in the whole left side of the torso. Keep reaching that left arm high. Let both legs be straight. Stretch a little bit further. Good, inhale here. Exhale, bend back through the front leg and bring left elbow to left thigh. Right arm is reaching all the way towards the front of the room. Really big stretch in the whole right side of the torso. Good, lots of energy here in the legs. See if you can really stretch the right side of the body long. Take one more breath here. Inhale, warrior two, rise up. Exhale, legs come straight, hands find the waist. Left foot turns in, let those feet be parallel to each other once again. Stance can be as long or as short as you need it to be today. Take your hands behind your back. You're either going to interlace all of your fingers together behind your back, shoulder blades squeezing towards each other. Or if that doesn't feel good for your shoulders, you can just have your hands on your waist and squeeze your shoulder blades here like that. Take a big breath in and exhale. Drop your head down towards the floor. Take your arms and reach them up high towards the ceiling. If your hands are on your waist, you're still squeezing between your shoulder blades. Wherever you are, so you can lean a little bit more weight into your toes. Squeezing deeply through the belly. See if that helps you to fold a little deeper. Two more breaths. One more breath here. And then rise as slowly as you can. Use your inhale to help you stand all the way up. Release your arms. Pet the left foot to point forward. Set the right foot to meet it at the top of your mat. Good. Feet together. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your left foot back as far to the back of the mat as you can. And then lower that left knee down to the floor. Leave your hands either on the floor, put them on your yoga blocks, or bring your hands up onto your right leg. Any of those options are great. Finding a big stretch through the front side of that back leg. Great for those of us who sit a lot during the day. Stretching out our sitting muscles a little bit here. Really lunge yourself deeply. Keeping your belly nice and strong, right? Spine is really tall. For more of a challenge, you might stretch your arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe the hands come together overhead. Let's hold here and breathe for 5, 4, 3, sinking a little bit lower if you can, 2, and 1. Drop your hands down to the floor. Straighten your front leg and fold forward. Chest comes all the way down over that front leg. Remember, hands can be on your yoga blocks, otherwise they can gently touch the mat. If you flex your front foot in towards your face, meaning the toes point towards the ceiling, you might feel a better stretch here in your calf and your hamstring on that front leg. Let's take one more breath here. And then gently bend back into your front leg. Tuck your back toes, take your back knee off the floor, and step your back foot to meet your front foot in a forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift gaze forward. Exhale, fold down. Step your right foot back, setting up the same postures on the other side. Right knee drops down to the floor in our little lunge-like shape. Hands can stay on the floor. They can find your yoga blocks, or they can find your front thigh. If you can, be as consistent as possible with the first side. Whatever you did there, see if you can repeat that again here. Spine is super duper tall. Hips melting low. Remember, this should challenge you, but no risk of pain or injury, right? Really be good to your body, even if that means you don't lunge quite as deeply here, no problem. Arms reach high if you did so before. Remember, looking for consistency. Let's hold here for 5, 4, big steady breaths. 3, 2, and 1. Gently hands find the floor, finding your half split position. Front leg is straight, hips shift back. Hands can stay on the mat or your yoga blocks, letting your chest and head melt down. If you're anything like me, when I was a beginner to yoga, my hamstrings were really tight. This was one of my least favorite poses. So use your blocks here if you need to. That might make it feel much more comfortable. One last breath here. And then we'll bend into that front leg again. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee off the mat, and step your back foot to meet your front foot in a forward fold. Head lowers down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise, reach all the way up. And exhale, arms come by the sides. We'll do a little balancing for the sake of demonstration. I'll face towards you, but you can stay exactly where you are. We'll move into a shape called tree pose. One of our most basic balancing postures. Standing on the right leg first. I want you to take your left foot and just kickstand it. It's kind of what it looks like, right up against your standing leg. So the toes on that left foot are on the floor. The heel of that left foot is leaning up against, right above your ankle on that standing leg. And the knees pointed out towards the side of it because this is a hip opening posture. If you really struggle with your balance, I recommend staying right here in this version of the pose. Otherwise, you might bring your foot off the floor completely, maybe on the calf here, and see if that challenges you a bit more. If you feel super stable, your hips feel really open, you might bring your left foot all the way up into the inner thigh of your standing leg. Hands can just press together in front of the chest. We call this prayer position. Standing super duper tall. Let's hold here for a couple more breaths. Try to find really firm foundation here through your standing foot, especially that big toe. Try to keep it on the floor. One more breath here. Good, and then we'll gently release. Both feet find the mat. Let's try that on the other side. So same options, right? You can either kickstand your foot on the floor. Great for those of you really struggling with your balance today, right? No big deal. It can be a daily struggle for some of us. Right foot can come up a little bit higher, maybe up on the calf. Or again, if you did this on the first side, maybe bring your foot as high as the inner thigh. Hands can find prayer position in front of the heart. Finding lots of length to stand tall. Finding just a subtle hip opener. It's possible you'll feel this all kinds of places, right? Depending on your ability. Good, hang in there for one more breath. And then we'll gently let both feet find the mat. That left side's always trickier for me. Let's take one more standing balance. We'll find standing figure 4. It's a little bit more challenging than tree pose, so if you feel like tree pose was really tricky for you, you might just repeat that again on this side. Otherwise, feel welcome to follow along. We'll stand on the right leg again. Left ankle comes above the right knee, hands in prayer. And it's sort of like a one-legged chair pose. We're actually bending into the standing leg, hoping to feel a stretch in the hip on the leg that's lifted. So here we should feel it in that left hip. If you're feeling any kind of pain in your left knee, I recommend coming out of this and taking tree pose instead. Let's hold here for 2 more breaths. You might sink a little lower. 1 more breath. Good. And then let's come all the way out. Good. Same pose on the other side. Standing figure 4. Right ankle is crossing above the knee. Hands are in prayer. Go ahead and bend as deeply as you can into the leg. Right? Feeling a stretch in that right hip. Finding a steady breath through the nose. Really purposeful. Coming to your lowest point, just 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath here. And then gently come out. Both feet find the floor. Good. Come back to the top of the mat if you're not already there. Feet come together, arms are by the sides. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward. Head hangs heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, gaze forward. Exhale, plank pose. Let's do that 1 more time. Really strong in the legs, really strong in the core. We're gonna stay here for 5 this time. 4, strong core muscles. 3, gazing forward, 2. 1, knees to the mat, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose, stretch the spine long. Exhale, cat pose, squeeze the belly in. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Hips lift high. Take 1 more breath. This will be the last time we do this pose today. Big breath in, full breath out. And then drop your knees to the floor and find your way into a seated position. Swing your legs out in front of you. Great job. From here, let's transition to lay down on our backs. So have your knees bent and your feet planted on the floor. We'll do what's called back bends. Really, really subtle. If you have any concerns about back bending today, feel welcome to just omit this. You might just watch instead. Let your lowest part of your spine press down into the floor. Both arms are by the sides. We're going to find a shape called bridge pose. Open up your eyes, deepen your breath, and as you inhale, lift your body in this order. Lift your lower butt, your lower back, your middle back, and if you can, lift your upper back so you can come up a little bit higher. See if you can squeeze your belly muscles nice and strong and engage your legs by pressing your feet into the floor. And it feels like you could press them forward. Take 1 more breath, lift a little higher, chest coming towards the chin, and then exhale, come all the way down. We'll do 2 more just like that. Inhale, lift again, come up a little bit higher this time. Really arching through the upper part of the back here, not just the lower back. If you feel good in this position, you might bring your arms closer together, maybe so close that the hands interlace underneath of the body, and you feel like you can arch up a little higher. 1 more breath here, and exhale, come all the way down. Good, we're gonna do that 1 more time. Remember, if you need to sit this out, no big deal. Otherwise, let's go forward. As you inhale, lift all the way up. Hips come off the mat. Do whatever you'd like with your arms. Arms can be apart or together. Together will provide a bigger shoulder stretch. Holding here for 3. Strong legs. Holding for 2. Highest point, lift up all the way. One more breath. And exhale. Come all the way down. Nice and slow. Bring your knees in towards your chest and rock yourself up into a seated position. Extend your legs out in front of you as straight as they can be. If you feel like your legs are super tight, your hamstrings or your back are really stiff today, you can either bend your knees or maybe sit up on your yoga blanket for this next posture. It's just a simple seated forward fold. We call it Paschimottanasana. So start in this upright shape and just crawl your fingers as far forward as they can go. Maybe you just stop on the legs. Some of you might reach all the way for the feet. Holding the feet might be eventually where you get to, but certainly does not have to be where you are today. So just be comfortable with what position you found yourself in right now. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. And see if you can just let your head hang a little bit heavier. Rounding the back here is okay as long as that's not painful for you. Keep your belly muscles nice and strong. One more breath here. Good. Slowly sit all the way up. We're going to plant the hands behind the body, fingertips pointing towards the body. Bend the knees, plant your feet on the floor. Coming to reverse tabletop. Lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Let the head hang back if you can. If that's not okay for your neck, just keep it lifted a little bit here. Hold here for 5. Strong legs. 4, 3, lift a little higher. 2, 1, exhale, come all the way back down. Straighten the legs out in front of you one more time. Good. Right foot comes to the inner thigh of the left leg. Looks like a seated tree pose. We call this shape Janu Shirshasana. Reach your hands as far down that left leg as you can. Remember, you're just going to crawl the fingers until you can't go any further. Ideally, both hands hold the same part of the leg or the foot. Head drops all the way down towards the long leg, stretching out the back of the body. If this is painful for your right knee, you can just keep both your legs straight instead. One more breath here. And then slowly come all the way up. And let's try that on the other side. Right leg is long. Left foot comes to the inner thigh of the right leg. And then crawl your fingers forward, reach all the way down the leg, maybe holding the foot with both hands. No need to bend the knee to go further. If bending the knee feels more therapeutic to you, of course, feel free to do that. 2 more breaths, head hangs down. 1 more breath here. And then slowly, let's come all the way up. Both of the legs are long. Great job. I want you to grab your little blanket here. I'm going to use a blanket, but if you have a block, you're welcome to use that instead. I just feel like a blanket is more of a household item for most of us beginners. And we'll lay down on our backs. Good. You can bend the knees and plant the feet on the floor. Take your blanket and have it folded up so that you can put it right underneath of your hips and it has you lifted off the floor just a couple inches, not very far. From here, let your legs extend up towards the ceiling and let your arms come by your sides. You might just be looking all the way up at your feet. Your knees might be bent here, but if you can straighten them, go ahead and do that. And maybe your toes point towards the ceiling in a really purposeful way. We call this shape an inversion in the yoga practice. An inversion we define in yoga as any shape that has your hips higher than your heart. And it's really comes at the end of the yoga practice as a way to bring a sense of calmness and peace into the body and the mind. Sort of helping us to slow down the heart rate and the breath as we move a little bit closer to the end of our practice. Let's stay here for just a few more moments. See if you can breathe a little slower and a little bit more purposeful. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath here. And then gently both feet will find the floor. And you can slide that little blanket off to the side. Keeping your knees bent and your feet planted, let's take the right ankle and cross it over the left knee. Similar to the shape we found when we were standing, although it's a little easier now that we're not balancing. The shape is called reclined figure 4.
Hoping to feel a stretch in the right hip. Remember the hip that's related to the leg that's crossing over. You can either stay here with your left foot on the floor, or for more of a challenge, you might intensify the stretch a bit by holding your hands in front of your left calf or behind your left hamstring. If that feels too intense or feels painful in your right knee, I recommend keeping your left foot on the mat. Otherwise, you might pull the legs in close. Those of you with really open hips will probably find that this is easy. If your hips are tight, I recommend doing this at home almost every day. It will help to provide a lot of mobility in your hips, and hopefully it will feel really good to you over time. Just a couple more moments here. Use your exhales to release any tension here in your right hip. Good, and then gently let's release. And we'll do that exact same posture on the other side. Left ankle crosses. Remember, you can stay here. That right foot is welcome to stay on the mat. Otherwise, maybe you pull the legs in closer. You'll probably find that one side feels easier than the other. And so use your best judgment. Maybe you feel like you can take this side a little further. Maybe it feels like you need to take a step back. And again, just using your breath, noticing whatever you might be experiencing in your body. Noticing without any judgment or need to explain whatever differences might be here. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And then gently we'll let both feet find the floor. Use your hands to pull both of your legs into the chest. We'll find a nice, easy recline twist. Lower your legs over to the left side of your mat. Bring your right arm over towards the right side of your mat. If it's okay for your neck, look towards your right arm. Feel welcome to have your eyes closed. For more intensity here in your twist, you might wrap your top leg around your bottom leg, and that might help you twist a little further. 1 more breath in this position. And then gently we'll come back to center. We'll find the exact same shape on the other side. So go ahead and lower your legs over towards the right. Extend your left arm over towards the left. Remember, you might turn your head to look over the left arm. You might wrap your top leg around your bottom leg. Lots of opportunities to change the shape up for yourself. One more breath here. And gently come back to your center. Pull your knees in towards your chest. And see if you can wrap your arms around your shins as much as possible. And let's pull the forehead all the way up towards the knees. Like a little hug you're giving yourself, your body, feeling so grateful for this experience. Let's take 1 more big breath in. And as you exhale, release your legs long to the floor. Release your arms gently to be by your sides. Legs are apart, maybe about as wide as your mat. Same with the arms, maybe slightly wider if you have space. Eyes are closed. We call this shape Shavasana. It's the posture that comes to the very end of the practice, our last pose today. And the goal is to be completely still, seeking stillness in the body and the mind, feeling all the benefits of the yoga practice here. We'll rest for the next few minutes together in silence. stretches through the fingers. Little stretches through the toes. Maybe rolling your head gently from side to side. Stretching the arms overhead for a moment. Feels like you're waking up for the second time today. Really stretch long. Slowly bending one knee and then the other until both feet are planted on the mat. Use your hands to guide your legs in towards your body. Pausing for a moment on your back, maybe the lowest part of the back is pressing into the mat. Maybe rolling over onto one of your sides for a more fetal-like position. Pausing here, giving yourself a chance to feel more alert and more awake. And slowly we'll feel our way up into a seated position. Same kind of shape we began our practice in today. Legs are crossed. This time we'll bring our hands into a prayer position at the heart. Taking a moment to feel grateful for making time in your day to be on your yoga mat and experience this practice. Feeling grateful for all of the benefits this yoga practice has to offer your body and your mind. I'm grateful for you being here, so thank you so much. Let's lift our thumbs up to the spot right between our eyebrows, our third eye center. We'll tuck our chins in towards the chest, letting the head hang heavy